Hey, what's up YouTube? Boswell back with another video for the husband code. Hey, I never got a chance to follow up with you guys about me leading actually Toastmasters for a night. Now, when it comes to the Toastmasters class, and many of you who know and don't know, it is a public speaking course or class where you're able to develop your skills. And basically, when you go there, they kind of ask you, how'd you hear about us? What's your name, and what are you looking to get out of Toastmasters? And for me, when I first started, obviously most of you guys know I'm Boswell, Terrence Boswell, and I actually found Toastmasters 10 years ago, and I was actually looking up successful people, and I think Warren Buffett was one of the people that I looked up, and one of his skills, he said, if you want to be a great leader in life, you have to learn the skill of public speaking. And he actually recommended the Dale Carnegie's course of public speaking. So I remember Googling it, but Toastmasters came up and I was like, well, what is this? It was all under the same category of public speaking. So anyway, long story short, 10 years ago, I looked it up. And here I am now, building those skills. And so anyway, inside of the public speaking class of Toastmasters, they have like an online course you can follow, and they kind of give you like different tips and skills with inside of that to kind of like help you, even get stronger with your public speaking. Like it could be like storytelling, it could be an informational speech, et cetera, et cetera. But inside of the actual Toastmasters class, there's different roles as well. And so one is the actual Toastmasters. This is the person that leads the entire meeting. Right, then you have the table topics master. So that's kind of the impromptu session where you kind of, if you're a member, you can get called up and based on the question that they ask you, and you basically, it kind of creates like an elevator pitch, or it kind of just help your skills like to stay on the top of your feet. If somebody asks you questions, let's say you at a wedding and somebody like, hey man, can you give a quick speech? Right, learning that skill. Or if you're somewhere out in public and somebody asks you to speak up for something. But anyway, just help you build those skills where you quick on your feet based on whatever the scenario is. All right. Then along with that, another role is like the timer, helping navigate people's times through their speeches. So, depending on the type of speech you do, that depends on the time, and you help regulate that. Then you got somebody called a vote counter. Obviously like the speeches, the table topics, and evaluations. Actually, people who evaluate the speeches, they help collect all the votes to kind of at the end of the night, they tally it up and we kind of vote on who we thought the best. Another person is called the awe counter. So they help you cut down on things like but and the kind of filler words, right? So they help kind of track that through the night. And at the end, they kind of help you become more conscious of how many times you said it. Another role is the grammarian. And the grammarian is at the end of the night, they're watching through the whole meeting and help you better articulate your grammar. So we do have a lot of people that's from, different cultures and background, and English isn't their first language. So they may say something that doesn't quite line up to the English language, and so the grammarian helped them. And even if English is your first language, sometimes we don't always speak properly, right? And the last person is the what is it called? It's like an overall evaluate for the night. Like, how do we think the meeting went, and kind of giving feedback on, hey, maybe somebody went over time too much, whatever the case may be. They kind of just give the overall opinion of the meeting of that night. And they obviously got the vice president of education who help kind of line up people's speeches and different things that's going on. And then you got the president who just basically over the whole thing and help bring on people to be signed up as new members and guests and stuff like that. Anyway, so it help to give you a broad spectrum on how Toastmasters actually work. And again, just a phenomenal what can I say? Just a phenomenal class to be a part of, because you're meeting people from all different walks of life, and along with that, you building those skills for later in life as you move into leadership. Now, why did I bring this up tonight? So finally, I took on a role. Well, before my first role I took on was just I did the timing, I did the vote counter, and I did table topics. And then previously this past Thursday, I did Toastmaster, where I had to lead the whole meeting. And so if you've been there many times, you should be watching and paying attention on how different Toastmasters kind of lead the meeting. You know, different things they implement, like kind of a theme for that night, and I'll go into that a little bit second. Also, how they make like different transitional parts, how they, just how they just had a whole thing flow, right? How did it from beginning to end? So it's just good to see everybody's different personality and how everybody kind of put their spin on it as they lead the meeting. And again, the whole point of that is just building skills to be able to lead other things in life. You may have a business meeting at work. You need to know, as not specifically just with Toastmasters format, but it gives you an idea on how you would lead a meeting from start to finish if it's in your business, right, at your job, or whatever type of meeting it is, just how to lead it from start to finish. It could be something like a function at church, how to lead it from start to finish, nonprofit. Just it helps you build that skill of understanding how to put together a format of a meeting from start to end and everything in between. So I thought it just a great skill to hone and to kind of put you in a situation where you have to have people depend on you. And, it kind of definitely washes out all your fears. And you always, get the butterflies a little bit because you stand in the front of the room and people looking up to you to say, all right, direct us, all right, lead us. And so I just thought it was very powerful. One of the most powerful roles, if not the most powerful role in Toastmasters, is being able to lead the thing, because it's a whole hour and a half meeting. You know what I mean? From start to finish. And so I'll actually walk you through it, just talk you through it a little bit on how it actually works. So in the very beginning of the meeting, before you even come up to start to lead it, we start off with the president. He comes up, he welcomes, everybody that's members and, guests there. He'll go around the room. He'll say, all right, well, if you're a guest, I want you to stand up. Again, the three things, right? How'd you hear about us? What's your name? What are you looking to get out of Toastmasters? So they'll say they spiel, hey, I'm such and such. So I heard about you guys. That's what I'm looking to get out. So once we finish that, then they'll give you an introduction. So they may be like, hey, this is your background, blase, blase. And then they welcome you to the stage. Everybody kind of clap. And then from there, like for me, when I came up, the first thing I did was, hey, everyone, quickly, this is who I am. I'm leading the night. Now, here's the format of the meeting. So at that point, it's kind of like a whole entire presentation. And, yes, I'm reading off a paper because it's my first time, but I'm also still looking at the crowd, at the audience, and, making sure that I'm very articulate with making sure they understand the format of the meeting and how it's going to flow. So I'm just like, hey, we'll start off with table topics. Again, the impromptu part of the meeting. From there, we're going to speeches. And I think that night we had something called an icebreaker, which is somebody's very first speech. It's a shorter speech. A lot of times it's about, like, it could be like a story of theirs, like just kind of introducing themselves, or it could be something else, but it's just a very short and sweet speech. It's typically like 4 minutes long. And it kind of helped them kind of get their feet wet as far as starting to get into speeches. Because after that, we had 3 other speeches. And it was a real speeches. Those 5 to 7 minutes long. You know what I mean? So it starts to get a little longer being up down your feet and being in front of an audience to be able to do a speech. So that's the second. So first phase is table topics. Second stage is the actual speeches. And then the third stage is you roll into evaluations. Now, evaluations is from all the speeches, icebreakers, whatever, you have people that evaluate those speeches. How was the intro? How was the body of it? Did it flow? Did it make sense of what you want to get across to your audience? And then how was your conclusion, right? Also within that, how was your tonality, right? How was your tone of voice? How was how did you interact with the crowd? How was your eye contact? How was your body language? All this stuff is judged, right? And so that's just great feedback from the evaluator, so that obviously they'll say, hey, this is what I think you can this is what I think you did right, and this is what I think you can improve on. And again, it's their personal feedback. You can take it how you want, but I always think it's just very valuable feedback that you can get. And it's always different people who evaluate. It could be somebody who's new, it could be someone who's been there for a long time, or in between. So it's just always great and valuable feedback. And for me personally, I like to record my speeches. That way I can always look back and say, man, you know what, this is what I feel like personally I know I messed up on, and I can get better with just going forward. So anyway, so once you get through those three phases, table topics, the speeches, and then evaluations, and then from there we go into what they call like roll cycles or whatever. And it's basically, that's when those people come up, like the odd counter who's watching out for the filler words. Then you got the grammarian, and you got the overall evaluator for the night. And then after that, they kind of come up again. They who did how many buts and ands and ums from the odd counter, the grammarian again, looking out for different words on how people speak, different sentences they put together that might not sound right, and then overall evaluation comes after that. And then the last, right before the last, we do the ribbon ceremony. So remember I said there's a vote counter. So the vote counter, we'll start off with who had the best table topics. So from everybody who voted that night, he'd be like, all right, cool, this person won the best table topic. So I call them up and give them a ribbon, right? And then the second person, be like, who's the best evaluator, come up, give them a ribbon. And the last thing is we all kind of do a drum roll, and that's who we give the best speech for the night, right? And that's the one that everybody's like in competition with, because it feels great. Like you put a lot of time and effort and a lot of practice into your speeches, and you take it very serious, because again, this is a skill you're trying to build. So it just always feel very good when you win up among your peers of having the best speech for that night. You know what I mean? It's just a great honor to be able to get that. And again, just bragging rights, behind that as well, because you're like, man, I killed that speech. Or sometimes like, I feel like I won at least twice. I've done 3 speeches, but I think I won my last one, but for that night. But I feel like one time as well, I feel like I killed it and I didn't win. But that's how it goes. Some people they got the edge over. You got to just accept it. Anyway, so after that, we give the ribbons out. At that point, the VP of Education come up. They tell you anything that's coming up. It could be like this year they did a camping trip for the group. It could be different tournaments coming up. Meaning like Toastmasters outside of our club, they have like the big one where you can actually go and compete with other Toastmaster clubs and stuff like that for best speeches. And they'll tell you about just anything like that coming down the pipeline. Anything like if the meeting is going to be off on a certain day because it may be holidays and stuff like that, or whatever's coming up. And then they're going to planning people's speeches. So like, let's say if a new member just joined, they'll be like, all right, we're going to play your first speech. You right into it. Or if somebody wants to be table topics master, Toastmaster, like different roles, they'll go ahead and plan that going into the next meeting. That way they just prepared and they just ready to go to the next meeting. And then at the very, very end, the president comes back. He closes out the meeting. He tells thanks for the guests coming. Thanks for all the meeting, the members for showing up and continuously helping the class carry on and just improve and grow. Because the truth of the matter, what I've noticed is the better like the Toastmaster is that night, depending on how many guests, they kind of help sell it too. You know what I mean? So I know I killed my Toastmaster. I killed it. I got a great feedback from the president. He was like, man, because with mine, really quick. So I told you, like, sometimes every Toastmaster kind of has a theme for that night. Mine was based on fall. And so with that, I was adding in jokes from each section. Like from table topics, I added a joke before we got started, from their speeches and from the evaluation. And I did one more kind of like statement of the fall before we close out the meeting. So it was just really, really good. I just try to keep some humor in there. And it just breaks the ice from the guests too. You want to make sure that they're comfortable and that they enjoying the night, because that just makes it better for you, because then there's new people coming in who can evaluate, who can give different speeches. You're like, man, okay, I like how they did that speech. And you can kind of take something from it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like if you're a member, you kind of help selling it too, indirectly, along with the presidents and stuff like that who are trying to recruit new members, right? Because the more you grow, it's just a better environment, man. Just a more fun environment. So, and again, you just learn to get your skills better and critique. So, anyway, so that's Toastmaster. Like I said, I just finished hosting it. I'm gonna do it again. I don't know when, but I definitely want to attempt potentially to do it before the year over with because I think I did really good. Tabletop is always fun with those impromptu sessions where you get to ask people questions, call them up, and I like when I get called up too. Again, it just help hone those skills. So anyway, that's Toastmasters, man. I'm not here sponsored by them, but I say if that's one of the skills you've been looking to, improve on as far as, how can I get better with speaking in front of a crowd? How can I get better with speaking in front of my different coworkers at work or my family members, and you can just look like a leader at church in your community? I say, take on Toastmasters. It's so interesting hearing like new people that come in when they speaking about how they heard about us and what they looking to get out of it. That's typically the same thing. Like, hey, I'm at my job. My boss recommended me. I'm looking to potentially get promoted. They recommended me come in and learn those skills. Hey, I get anxiety when I'm speaking in front of a group. My coworkers at work. I want to get better with that. Or hey, I'm taking on this role or that role. I'm starting to do anything in front of different people. Those are the type of people we want. And again, you want to be just wanting to get better anyway because you just come off as more confident when you're speaking for whatever situation in life that you come across. So Toastmasters, I'm sure there's other different programs. I'm not familiar with them, but for me, Toastmasters has been great. And I say, man, if that's something y'all looking to improve upon when it comes to public speaking, and again, it's a leadership skill as well, why not join? Google it, see what's close to you, see if it works for you based on your time. I go to the one in Atlanta. It's been around for the longest. It's called the Buckhead Toastmasters. Again, great people that's there. And, reach out if something you're interested in. So, but anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed me kind of telling my story on me leading the Toastmasters, giving y'all the full breakdown on how everything works. Again, I'm not here to try to sell it to you. I'm just giving you, hey, if you're interested, cool. But as far as the overall video, I hope y'all liked it. Drop a comment below. Subscribe to the Husband Code. Again, I love talking about videos like this because, again, this is something I do is put in the work every week. Just building my skills on leadership as a husband, as just a man in life. And that's something I'm going to continue to do. So if you like this type of content, subscribe, hit a like on the video if you thought, I gave you some value, and, hit the notification bell. Again, I drop videos every day to be notified when they drop. And so until next time, I appreciate you guys. Much love. Peace.